Jeff?
Welcome, hockey fans.
Cheers.
And we have a guest on that we are really excited to bring to you. We're going to raise our hams beer.
Hey, cheers, Coach.
And cheers to Coach David Carl, national champions of the University of Denver Pioneers. We have to say, Coach, Hams Beer is one of our sponsors, so we had to give you a cheers with Hams. Good morning, and thank you for joining us, and congratulations on the 10th national championship for University of Denver.
Some of us are a little jealous.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on. It's a huge honor, and really happy for our players.
You know, we even had to put the school rouser behind you. Did you catch that?
I did. I hear the fight song going. I appreciate that.
Well,
Hey, Coach, I picked you after you came out of regionals, and I was in a tough audience. I had Mike Eruzione sitting there, and he wasn't very pleased. You had him exit the rink pretty quick, and kind of interesting. But thanks for upholding the NCHC.
Yeah, I think I think it's six championships now for our league, and by far the most since realignment. So I think that's really important. And I've talked about it before, but I think when it gets to the NCAA tournament, we all cheer for each other and want each other to do well. So happy to carry that flag, and it's the best league in college hockey.
Well, Dr. Phil's in Poland, working for the International Ice Hockey Association, and he wanted me to ask you about your new national championship patio furniture that you have.
Yeah, my wife sold our old patio furniture, and she's buying new stuff. So I told them, I said the bonus money's being put to good use.
Your goaltender, Matt Davis, I tell you what, I haven't seen a goaltender play that well in college or pro in a long time. And one could easily say he won that game for you with his spectacular play.
Yeah, certainly in the third period and all tournament long, he was excellent for us. Really, his game peaked at the right time. Along with our team defensive game, and really proud of Matty. It hasn't been an easy path for him. 2 years of backup to Magnus Krona, and then he becomes the heir apparent starter and gets hurt 5 games into this season, misses the whole rest of the first half, and then really I thought we saw a goaltender through January and February that was really just learning how to play every night again and find his consistency and find his stride. And he certainly found it come end of February and into March and April. So really proud of him and working through all that adversity, and kind of a winding road is not an easy thing. And he did a great job, and along with our goalie coach Ryan Massa.
Dave, this is Dean Wilson here, and I got to piggyback off that. I just thought that was the difference. And your team played well, and you do all the little things well, but he just shut the door and didn't let anybody in. And at some big moments, and just your team just built on that energy, and it was just fun to watch you guys play. And it just like I said, all the little details flawless, and like I said, it was just fun to watch your guys play.
Oh, I appreciate it. They were bought into playing the right way, and only give up 3 goals, and really what ended up being 5 games with all the overtime stuff. A goal mouth scramble against UMass, play against Cornell where we truthfully kind of get picked by a referee where they're able to extend possession, and then the shorthanded breakaway by Tuck on the Thursday night game there. We didn't give up a lot, and when we did give something up, Matty was there to obviously shut the door.
Coach, speaking to the goaltender, it's amazing to watch how your team got to keep playing offense because they had confidence in the goaltender. They weren't afraid to make a little mistake up ice because they thought, okay, he's going to stop everything anyway. I'm going to shift gears on you, Coach, a little bit. A little bit of chatter in the game of college hockey portal. Hey, congrats, you picked off a really good one, but in the same sense, I happen to be sitting with Coach Saratori Bemidji State, and he's sitting there scratching his head. But the chatter and the talk now, and obviously watching the portal rules change again, and now you can go a second time and all the chaos. The Canadian major potential to get into college hockey, that's going to be an interesting debate for the coaches, I assume, coming up at your coaches meeting. Do you have any insight on that?
Yeah, I mean, the transfer portal, I don't think many of us like it, but it's here to stay. I think you look a year ago, we chose not to bring in any transfers. We brought in 11 freshmen. Obviously this year we've got 2 committed out of the portal right now. We have 2 of our players in the portal. One's going to UMass already. The other one is completely up in the air. So there's movement, all over college hockey. I think I saw Schlossman put out a stat that every team now in the NCHC, Hockey East, and Big Ten has added someone out of the portal this year. So it's becoming a norm. We're going to have to figure out how to operate within the environment and the world of it. Regarding CHL, my opinion on it shifted. I'm probably more in the middle now, interested in hearing, both sides of it. I can see its merits. I can see its flaws. I think what we need to do is talk slower rather than faster with it. Get lawyers, get agents, get the NHL involved. How would it affect the CBA and signing eligibility rules and all those types of things that get involved? I do know that we would go and recruit the CHL's best players. That I do know. We would never, and I don't think the courts would either. They're not going to say that only the 20-year-olds are eligible to come to college hockey, but the 17, 18, 19-year-olds are not. So if one's eligible to come to college, they all will be eligible, and it's going to certainly increase the recruiting footprint and the recruiting battles up north of the border.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting. Wills, I stepped on you. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I'm a Canadian, so I love your Alberta Calgary pipeline there. No pun intended, but
Yep.
Some quality guys from up there. And another one that caught my interest, as a former coach, coaching brothers together here. 2 defensemen there. Those guys, they had a heck of a show, and it's just fun to see 2 brothers celebrate together.
It's really cool. Having 2 brothers myself, and now having 2 boys as sons, I think that's something that you dream of. And me and my brothers, we're all 5 years apart, so we never had the opportunity to do that. But when Shai and Zeev linked up, numerous times this year, it was really, truthfully, I was jealous of them and really happy for them that they got to experience all these great moments this year, and obviously culminated in a national championship. So much fun for them, and could not be more jealous, to be quite honest.
Well, I laugh. I had a brother a year older than me, and I could fight my brother, but no one else could, man. If you'd stepped in, my brother and I, we'd tag team you, man.
And I don't have to speak a lot about my brother because he's famous, but he left UND early, so he didn't have to play with me.
We didn't want to have to carry you.
Well, Coach David Carl from the National Championship, University of Denver men's hockey team from the NCHC. It's been a complete pleasure and an honor to have you on our hockey show this morning. I know Dr. Phil wanted to be here, but he could not be. But
he's in charge of Dope Patrol.
Yes, is what he said. But we've had a long history with Jim Montgomery, George Gwozdecki, Frank Serratori, and even going back to Marshall Johnson. So thank you. Congratulations on the school's 10th national championship. And listen, we hope North Dakota wins next year, Coach.
We know that you'll be cheering for us. Thank you.
Yes, we will be. As long as you're not playing on.
Yeah.
I
Congratulations.
Thanks for having me on. And
Thunder Bay boy.
Welcome back to the hockey guys. A Thunder Bay boy, did you say?
Did I ever tell you my story about him?
No.
A bunch of us went to watch him. He was playing for the Thunder Bay Twins, okay?
I played against the Twins.
He's going up. We go watch some young guys, a few years younger. And anyways, he's on the ice. He's got the big Mike Commodore Afro, the wild man, right? The referee wants to check his stick for illegal curve. He swings at the ref, his stick tossed. He doesn't play a second. We're all bummed out. We want to see him fight somebody or do something. He don't play a second. Old Goldthar, he gets tossed out of the game.
This is kind of like last week. It's like I wasn't even here.
It was nice here, wasn't it, Jeff?
Hey, thanks to Citywide Electric, CitywideElectricND.com for sponsoring the hockey guys this year. So, Jeff, you're on.
Hey. Oh, sorry about that, Addison. We have Mr. Bates, Elliot Bates, joining us. Coming in for a Ham's beer. Good morning.
I appreciate you guys.
Well, Eddie, what do you think?
To Ham's beer? Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, I got to throw out something to you, Elliot. I got to throw out about the contest of year. It goes to men's hockey for defeating St. Olaf's Hockey Day, Minnesota. 4-2 against St. Olaf.
In the world's capital.
Yeah, and Golden Cobber Award winners. So congratulations to your team and you guys.
Yeah, no, they just had the Cobber Awards just the other night, and we got Game of the Year for campus. So that was a
awesome, unbelievable
event. Just getting back to War Road. I wish Kirk could be here to talk a little more about that. But in his hometown, and we had some great support, and the comeback was absolutely unbelievable. So,
well, he elaborated a little bit because we had him on here. It was just the coolness. I think a week later we had Coach Olam on here, but the coolness is that small town feel. I'll just make up names or, hey, come on over and we'll whip you guys up a breakfast for your team and stuff like that. And just that good old fashioned, I think of hometown feel, billets, all that stuff, and that's exciting. So he did elaborate a little bit, but way cool in getting that award.
You say little town, I say big cities, suburbs to the west.
You notice the signs were changed coming in and out of War Road. It said Christianville, so Eddie must have been back that weekend.
No, that it doesn't have a name on it, right? We don't need a name on it.
Hey, Elliot's been keeping up with some of the local players that are in the playoffs up in Canada. One boy, Mr. Deemer, has been playing well, huh?
Yeah, so the Manitoba League finals started last night, and I believe the Winkler Flyers beat Steinbach 2-1, and Noah Deemer had the assist on the opening goal. So he's been producing in the playoffs, and good luck, Mr. Deemer.
Yeah, he's tell you what, if you're a college coach out there, he would be a player I would definitely be taking a look at. The other thing, Elliot, that I wanted you on the show for today, and we talked about summer training, whether it is playing lacrosse, playing tennis, running, golfing, water skiing, swimming.
Working, sanding hockey sticks,
we had
framing houses.
We had Pierre Lamrou on a couple of years ago, but he talked about his 4 boys and 2 daughters, about what they did in the summer to be better and not average. And this is a very short clip. It's about 30 seconds. Let's listen from Pierre Lamrou. Well, there you go. You can choose to be better or you could choose to be average. What do you got? What programs do you got this summer, Elliot, for young hockey players in our community?
Yeah, well, I got my camp starting up here in May, the second week of May. We go full May every Tuesday and Thursday, and then the first 3 weeks in June. It'll be at our barn in Moorhead, and I'm calling it Junior Tryout Prep. So we got I got guys from all the way from Bagley signed up, Crookston, Jamestown, Fergus Falls, Detroit Lakes, and definitely got plenty of room for more guys. So
I didn't get. I mean, I'm 2 blocks. I don't even need to. You don't have to pay mileage to get me there, Cole.
yeah, there you go. I'd love for you to stop by. So, we got guys, from the North American League, Manitoba League, NA3HL, USPHL, local high school guys. Just guys who are serious, on trying to pursue hockey, even if you're, an 07, 08, so 04s to 08s are all welcome. Just a good, solid group of guys that are, just want to compete with each other and getting everybody together because, there's a lot of area hockey players, who are serious and want to do that, but they're all kind of doing their own little thing, so I'm just trying to get, everyone together and, so it's an hour and 15. We'll scrimmage for at least about 30 minutes, and kind of run it like a cobbler's practice, honestly. So we're just doing a little bit of everything, battles, flow drills, and then helping guys, helping guys out with their junior process, helping guys, figure out where to go try out so they're not just a number. I'm calling teams for kids and, helping kids any way we can. So
you got to be careful when you say 7. Jeff's thinking he has that 2 years left after he flunked out of UND and then got back into law school. He's thinking he might have 2 years eligibility.
Yeah,
left,
there you go.
Hey, 2 quick questions here, Elliot. How many of the kids that did your camp moved on into junior hockey at any level, number one? Number 2, you took this team that you work with for these May and June, and you take them to play in a tournament. And how did they do last year, and who's in the stands watching these kids?
Yeah, so we're going to be attending the Bowman Showcase. So this is the third time I've been putting a team in it. Last year we took 3rd place. So there's a team flying in from Tampa Bay. And there's a couple junior teams in Minnesota and Wisconsin, and then the owner of the showcase has 4 of his own teams, and it'll be bracket style. Last year we had the team that we lost in the semifinals. They beat us in a shootout. They won it. And we had a bunch of North Dakota boys, Western Minnesota boys that got exposure, and every single guy got offered a spot on a junior team from that weekend for how well they played.
Yeah,
so,
how many scouts are in the stands watching this?
Over the weekend, there'll be 30 plus. So all ranging from NCAA Division I to North American League, USHL, NCDC, and then some Canadian teams as well. So,
Coach, I'm going to throw this out at you because I tried to do a little homework this week of reaching out to advisors / agents, and a couple responded back to me, but they gave me a generic watch our video and it'll talk about how to get in junior. I said, I played juniors. As I told them back, I played juniors. I don't want to know how to play juniors. I want to know the process. I don't have my pulse on the open portal, advisories, agent. What's the difference? I don't have a grasp on that. And I know there's scouting reports. They'll rank kids, what level they're at. But if you could elaborate a little bit, the feel of that, I don't get how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a interesting subject depending who you talk to. So, there's advisors, fancy name for, player agent or something like that. But, there's junior hockey's expanded tremendously over the last, decade alone. There's, new leagues popping up, the NCDC, in the last handful of years, that's another Tier 2 league, but it's non-USA hockey sanctioned. But, I attended their showcase out west, and, they're getting great crowds, and, that league is on the rise, So, like the team in Idaho Falls, honestly, I'd take their crowd, is on par with like the Fargo Force. I mean, they're getting 3,500 fans a game, and out in the West, so everything's kind of growing. So if you look at D3 rosters, the diversity of leagues, it's, if you look at Concordia, I think we have 6 or 7 different leagues on our roster, so a lot of it is, going into the right program, and because you could be a Tier 3 player, and still get NCAA opportunities. A lot of kids around here like to go the Canadian route if they don't make the North American League. But we have the NA3HL. That's where Coach Olin and I both coached. We have a couple West Fargo boys, Jaden Rogan and Chase Hapka, who played for Gillette and Wyoming this year. Great brand program, and they made it to the national semifinals, and are on the looking to make their college commitments after this next season too. So,
Coach Bates, we'll keep you around.
30
We're going to keep
seconds
you
here,
on
boys.
for the deal, but we just want to say, hey, shout out to Center for Special Surgery for all your orthopedic, ear, nose, throat, eye, plastic surgery needs. The specialist at the Center for Special Surgery, where your care is our passion. And we'll keep Coach here with us. He's going to have another hams in this break, and then he'll come back and probably be a little more honest. And I want to throw some stuff out on this involvement.
Welcome back to the Hockey Guys. the country and the world's and the nation's top college hockey show in the country, the number one ranked college hockey talk show anywhere.
That intro sounded like a defense attorney trying to make sure that he can go home with a smile on his face. Anyway, thank you to Bag & Strinden Vision sponsoring this segment of the Hockey Guys. On the ice or off the ice, clear vision as a result. A little shout out to Tommy. For your permanent vision corrections, reach out to Bag & Strinden Vision. Expert eye surgeons, give them a call at 701-293-8242. And to lead in, hey, Coach, thanks for sticking around with us.
I thought it was some of Wilson's cousins up in Thunder Bay.
Could have been.
Hurtful. I want to gear it back to our guest with Coach Bates. I'm cutting you off.
No,
Eddie.
I'm going to throw out. I'm going to throw out because again, we had to go to what we call a hard break in this industry. But I'm going to throw out to you that there was a day when, as a coach, you were absolutely ticked off when a parent came down and said, "My son isn't seeing the same amount of ice time as player A." And that was the parent getting involved in hockey, and everybody said, keep the parent out of hockey. Why in H double toothpicks would you ever allow a player agent to walk in your office and say, I need my represented player to get more ice time because you're giving player agent B's kid more ice time? We have moved the game of hockey from parents in the coach's room to player agents, and to those player agents out there, shame on you for taking and putting yourself in a role that when you were playing the game, you despised and hated as a hockey player. And then I'm done. Mic drop for me.
Well, listen, we have a caller, Dr. Tom, on the phone. Tom, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, congrats for ringing the bell over at Roger Maris, my friend.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, I did it at Mayo though, but thank you. It was certainly fun to be through with that.
But we thought, Tom, you would be between Eddie, Dean, and I. We have zero. We've tried to reach out to agents and advisors to try to find out more about them. Try to get them on the show actually to tell us and educate us. So we have Elliot, assistant coach at Concordia. You, with your experience with your son playing college hockey, Tom, I'm going to throw it over to you. What is a player's agent, and what do they do? Are they helpful? Are they not helpful? What do they do?
First, I'm going to say I got a shout out to Elliot. I know Elliot well. Good to hear from you, Elliot. But I'll tell you what, Ben's situation was kind of interesting because he was already committed to UND. He had 5 Division I coaches that had made him offers and showed interest. And then he was sitting next to this young guy as an alternate captain in Muskegon. And the young guy, as they're lacing up their skates, says, "So who's your agent?" And Ben gave him this look like, you're staring into space. I have no idea what you're talking about. It turns out that this guy's dad is an agent, and he works for Cortex. So Ben and I kind of discussed it, and we decided, okay, you're already committed somewhere. But the agent's role is really one where they sign not everybody up, because one thing I can tell you this year is that some players, and this is unfortunate too, that a side effect of the portal, is that a couple local kids or people I know from Minnesota were told that they're not going to be even offered a spot next year. And they were committed to some pretty good programs, some lesser-known programs. And then they're having to look out. So those kids are entering the portal. They contacted me and said, "Who's your agent?" So I referred them on to the agent, and the agent said, I don't want to represent these kids. So they are somewhat selective. They really look at who can really play at the next level, and that's when they do get a certain percentage. It may be 10%. I'd have to talk that over with my son because I never did sign a contract. He may have signed a contract. But
So,
the agent
10% of what, Tom?
Future income.
maybe their first contract.
Okay,
Yeah.
their future professional contract.
Future professional.
All right.
But you're right. I mean, I can tell you that my agent is from Michigan. He played. He lives in Detroit, and he really has, like, Waven out of Omaha is another one of his players. But he doesn't really have a relationship with UND. But in other programs, he did. So sometimes he'd go to a program and they'd say, I know you're here talking about Waven. Who else do you represent? And he'd say Ben Strinden. Oh, I love Ben Strinden. We don't have anybody plays like that kid. That's kind of some feedback I get from him about different things. But he really didn't know the UND coach as well. The one time he did try to talk to him, they tried to talk to him about Bonnie Blair's son, and I'm not even sure what his name is. I don't know what her married name is, but he's supposedly a really good player, maybe in an 06, 07 at this point. But it is an unfortunate thing, but I think an even more unfortunate consequence of this portal is some of these kids that thought they committed to a school are basically, or even like a Braden Costello, early on commits and maybe doesn't develop. Some of these kids they're decommitting from a program, but I think what really has happened is the program has told them you're no longer coming in or you're no longer welcome. And
well, there was a time, Tom, that Wisconsin had over 30 kids recruited to come in each of the next 2 following years, which they'd have to have a roster turnover 1.5. So there was a lot of kids that were offered that then said sorry.
Yeah, that was Arizona State, and I think in Wisconsin for 2020 was when that year was, wasn't it, Jeff?
That was, but it's not that way under Hastings. It was on the predecessor. Dean has a question.
Hey, Tom, so what are they grabbing them on these advisors, agents? When are they grabbing them? How old are these guys? Are they getting down deeper? Lower ages?
Well, they certainly could. But again, my experience was that we didn't even know about them. And then Ben, like I said, he'd already established himself, was ready to take off in his second year in the USHL and played in those years when the BCHL wasn't playing, Ontario hockey, Manitoba hockey. It was really the only show. And a lot of kids were being, the NAL was still going, but a lot of kids were being bumped down because of that. But I really don't know. I know the coaches at one time, the Lucius kids were committed to the Gophers by Lucia when they were maybe 13 or 14.
Yeah.
And now Cruz is an interesting situation. He was the Gophers one year, Wisconsin another year. Hastings lets him go. Now he's rumored to be at Arizona State.
Yep.
So he's totally using it as a free agency, which I guess for him is working out. But when you think about Hastings, he probably saw a kid that didn't have the work ethic, didn't quite have the character that fit what he wanted. So he let his leading or second leading scorer go.
Yeah, he had over 20 points. That was big. Tom, do you think your lack of knowledge early on about advisors was because you were intimately familiar with hockey? You played as a youth through high school, and I think you also tried out for college. You were one of the top players in North Dakota. So you had more than just the minimum knowledge about these leagues and hockey itself. But there's got to be people on the opposite side of that know nothing whose kids are going through these programs.
Yeah, correct. I think I had enough with Rick Randazzo and Tim Jackman, even knowing you two, that there was certain familiarity with a lot of programs. And what I told coaches sometimes, like when UND came around one time, and I just said, I've seen what happened to other local kids. Don't even offer Ben anything until he's proven himself at the highest level of juniors, because I don't want him to be a committed kid and all of a sudden decommitted. I mean, the one Panzer is now going to Bemidji. And so that they really are committing too early. They haven't proven themselves. And Elliot can tell you some kids work hard and develop throughout the summer. Other kids take a break. Some kids don't develop beyond their age 15, 16 when they dominate, and they might be 6'3", and everybody else is 5'6", 5'7". So I just think the overall process has led to commitments way too early, and kids have their heart set someplace when they really probably end up. I watched Concordia play a couple games this year. It's a great level of hockey. That's where I played 2 years.
Well, Tom, I agree. I mean, the highs and lows, and I've had players that lost their passion and spirit and threw their skates in the garbage can, because they were committed here and there and it didn't play the way it did. And you can't lose that passion or your excitement for the game.
Well, Tom, listen, we're coming up against a hard break, so we're going to have to let you go. Thank you for the interesting discussion. Congrats on ringing the bell.
Exactly.
And we wish you nothing the best. We love you. You know that.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Tom Strindon. Eddie.
Coach Bates, we had you stay in, and then we had the caller call in. So if you don't mind sticking around having your third hams over here.
We're not done with you yet. We're not done with you.
At this point, your stack's a little behind mine.
Oh,
so
we got 2 minutes.
Yeah, try to keep up here a little bit.
Well, we got enough time for another beer for Elliot. God, it's like you're back in your own college days, buddy.
But again, no. Back, Elliot, I wasn't aware that we were going to have the caller call in, but back to where I started, that isn't it interesting to see that as a coach, your pressure went from worrying about the parent to now worrying about a parent helper. It still has advisor, parent helper. When are we going to just lock the door in the rink, run your games, run your practices, and when they walk in, say you're not welcome in my locker room? Now, I got told by a college hockey coach last weekend at the Frozen Final that if I do that, I'll probably lose my job. Who owns college hockey? That's the challenge for you guys coaching, correct?
Well, yeah, like with the transfer portal, has definitely changed things. I think it's, with the changes coming to college hockey, I think Division III is level of play is elevated. And with this next year being the last year guys can do the COVID year, it's going to be even better. And I think you're going to start seeing more guys move up from D3 to Division I. For those guys who committed early, there's guys who are 03s that went to NCAA Division I a year early when they probably should have played another year of juniors. They're in the transfer portal, and they're kind of looking for a spot still.
We'll let Elliot come back again if he's willing to.
Yeah,
stick
hang
with
around
us,
here, Elliot, for another ham.
You got it.
You asked who owns college hockey, right? Ask the UND women's hockey team how quickly the university can pull the funding, pull the coach, and say goodbye to every one of them. I think it's the institution. Anyway, you're up, Eddie.
No, we're all good here on the Hockey Guys, and we'll be back and wrap up with a little shout-out. Vinny, drive safe. Dad, love you. To Corky, keep the refrigeration on. Dougie, San Diego's great place. And Bronco, thanks for listening.
Welcome back to the Hockey Guys, the best college hockey show in the country.
And hey, to Birdie, they're going back to Salt Lake City. Little picture of Gary Eads when he played for Salt Lake back in 80. I'm going to be careful here. 83 would have played. Just missed. I played in the Palace in the I back in 84, 85. So missed Bird. He was out of hockey by that point. But anyway, they're going back to Utah for hockey. So life continues to get interesting as you look at the game.
Well, we've played that clip every year since we've had this show, going back to Bernie Burgraff. Once a year, we've played the old honor to Kerry Eads, one of the best general managers anywhere at any level in junior hockey, and Fargo Force are lucky to have him. Just keep him.
And the Force have a bunch of guys that went on to play college hockey, and then now a few of them playing as the NHL playoffs start. So the game of college hockey keeps being the best feeder program in the country. So, Mr. Bates, we appreciate you coming in. Give you a little minute that Jeff tried to take away from you earlier to wrap up and say, hey, what the game of hockey, as a coach, again, going to hit you a little harder. When a parent advisor walks into your coach's room, how do you deal with that?
Well, I'll be honest, it hasn't happened for us. So, Concordia, we recruit high character guys, and a good chunk of our guys do have advisors, but the advisors kind of understand once they're at college, it's their job's kind of handled, at that point, so.
But there's about 300 guys in the portal that have no place to go if you ever want to look for players.
Yep, we've been we're on the hunt for a few guys, so nothing we can't really get into quite yet on the air, but we're super excited for next year. We have a strong team returning, and looking at having a really good freshman class. So
I know a few private schools don't use the portal. Like I'm pretty sure, maybe I'm goofing it up, but I was either like Harvard or Notre Dame or something. They just stuck to the guys that they brought in, and they weren't bringing in transfer players. And I thought that would be a whole nother beast too if the institution didn't allow that.
Did you hear what Coach Carl said? David Carl, national championship from the University of Denver. They brought in 11 freshmen last year,
and they fit.
No portal players. And they won the national championship.
But now he's shifting gears because the rules have made him. How do you get reached out to by a player that wants to increase his visibility and tell him no, stay where you're at, right? Because Polkamp at Bemidji State, probably one of the top defensemen in college hockey, forced David Carl to say, "Oh, you're in the portal," and now. Be careful, but I don't have to be because the game's simple. But who coached the World Juniors? Polkamp plays on the World Junior team, and tell me that he didn't get poached by the coach of the World Junior team, Dave Carl.
Well, we can't. I don't think we can say that. I think.
So you want to coach World Juniors because it gives you access to players.
But I don't disagree. I think you develop a relationship with those players.
I call it subliminal recruiting. They like you as a coach. I want to play for them. It happens. You work summer camps, whatever they go. You do a camp and you touch out, and they go, Coach Bates, I want to go to Concordia. I want to play for you. So, but I don't know. I mean, it's just a busy world, and I tip my hat off to you guys, Coach.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
No, but I look at it this way: if you're a standout player at Concordia, where you're the D1 top University of North Dakota type player, and you were overlooked, or maybe you were 5'10" your freshman year and 160 pounds. Now your sophomore year, you're 6'4" and 220, and now you're the man. That's the type of player that I see entering the portal to move up, right?
Absolutely.
And I get concerned about the lateral movements. Now, I don't view, and I hate to say this, Eddie, because Saratori is a good friend of the show, but I don't think Bemidji and Denver that's a lateral move for that player. He moved up.
I'm
right?
not so sure, because if he's outstanding at Bemidji State and he's developing and progressing, White Cloud, why did he have to go to Denver?
Yeah, I don't disagree. White Cloud is still playing in the National Hockey League.
So now if he goes to Denver and he doesn't necessarily get the time because he's now going in to compete with 8 guys, and in Bemidji State he was the guy.
He was the guy. Playing
so
over
maybe,
30 minutes a game,
maybe
right?
this backfires, and after it happens a couple of times, maybe the world changes for guys that are looking at the portal.
Yeah, it's in their mind, right? It's in the player's mind, and I think some players are going to have to get smoked a few times, so to speak, before people realize, let's think twice. Wilson, I know you want to talk. Lucius going to Arizona. Second leading scorer of Wisconsin, asked to leave.
And the
Something's
goaltender,
and he played for the Gophers before that, so he left the Gophers, left Wisconsin. Now he's ended up in Arizona.
and
Big red flag, right?
the Arizona State goaltender just signed with North Dakota to come back through the portal to play in the same league.
Yeah.
So, Coach Bates, since we got you here, I want to kind of you won't get a word in edgewise with this guy. So
You're
I gotta,
fine. You're good.
but you got. So, if you had to tidy up something, what would you like to see? Any changes on the portal? What would you like? Any changes?
Well, it's still kind of new, for myself, at the Division III level versus the Division I level.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yep. So, it's just, maybe kids can't, do it unlimited times, but I understand, kids being able to go where they choose, when they're from the age of 16, they can get traded, depending on where you're at and what league. And, at least the kids can have they can choose where they're going.
So last minute of the college hockey guys for the season. Thanks to our dedicated listeners in San Diego and St. Louis and Boston and Connecticut and all the places that people listen in from.
All
YouTube,
over the country for the
all
best
over the country.
college
Hey,
show,
thank you to
show.
thank you to the college hockey coaches who understand coming on here. We don't talk X's and O's. We talk about life. So Jeff, thank you.
Thank you, Eddie.
Thanks
Good
for
job,
inviting me
Eddie.
in. Hey, Wills, thank you.
Good job, Wills.
Yeah,
Hey,
for
Doc,
sure.
Doc Johnson over there, Dope Patrol. Thank you for being here with us and the hockey guys. And Jeff, we'll let you close the year out.
Well, listen, we want to thank Dave Carl, head coach, University of Denver, the 10th national championship, 5th since the year 2006. Actually, if you include his brother Matt, who was playing. For the hockey guys, we'll see you next year. Until then, keep your head up and your stick down.